Movie theaters may strike back at Warner Brothers over their Wonder Woman 1984 streaming option, as well as all the other streaming movies coming in a very passive-aggressive and some would say brilliant move. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, your failed journalist. And, read a lot of I have a lot of people watching my videos saying, I'm a little out of touch, that the movie theaters don't have any negotiating power, that they're fossils, they're dinosaurs, frankly, things that I've come to expect from the younger generation. I mean, I don't want to think about being part of the older generation, but the thing is, I've just celebrated my 36th birthday. I'm closing in on 40 now, and, there's been some wisdom that comes with time, and I'm now seeing the attitudes in many kids younger than I am that I once had when I was younger, when I said that Napster was the future and there would be no more CDs in 5 years. Well, there's still CDs. Heck, vinyl made a comeback. It's just really hard to get rid of physical media. And, I've kind of discovered that when new things come along, yeah, once in a while, it does kill an industry. But more often than not, the industry and the world just adapts to a new normal. For example, even though Blockbuster did go out of business, there's still Redbox around. Netflix still mails DVDs. There is still a need for, renting physical media at the last minute. So things don't always change the way people think they will. And with the recent announcement of Warner Brothers moving their entire 2021 movie slate to HBO Max and theaters day and date, that shook up the industry. And of course, you got a bunch of videos and articles written on the exact same day. This is it. This is the final nail in the movie coffin. And one of the arguments that has been made is that movie theaters don't have any negotiating power. Well, the funny thing is they actually do still have a little bit of negotiating power. And they have enough clout to still do a little bit of damage, if you will. Now, here's the thing. People were correct in that movie theaters are in such a precarious situation that can they really afford to say no to Wonder Woman? Can they afford to say no to Godzilla? Can they afford to say no to Matrix? Can they afford to say no to Dune? Heck, they'll even take Tom and Jerry at this point. But the thing is, Warner Brothers did smash the window. It is an agreement they had with the movie theaters. And one of the reasons movie ticket prices keep going up and up and up is partially on the demands of the studios. They want more money for their movies. Theaters have to charge more for the ticket prices. But the funny thing is, movie theaters don't really gain much more in profits from the tickets as the movie studios do. They only get like 10% out of the opening weekend. And so whether the movie ticket is $7 or $15, it's really not of huge consequence to the theaters themselves. They make their money off the snacks. Now, one thing that I had not thought about, and that's what makes this new potential move, it's not confirmed yet, but it's rumored strongly, so brilliant, is that, if the movie is older, or if it's been around for a little while, then movie theaters can still show those movies that are readily available on home viewing, but they tend to charge less for the movie ticket, because the whole thing is to get nostalgia-driven people out into the theaters, and they will usually sell more snacks during those concessions for those movies because, hey, the movie ticket is cheaper. So that's why this new move that the movie theaters may actually slash the ticket prices to Warner Brothers films so brilliant, and we're going to talk about why. So, according to this article on MovieWeb, major theater chains might lower prices on Warner Brothers titles to protest the HBO Max deal, and you all know what that is right now. We just went over it. Let's see here. AMC theaters and Cinemark have both issued statements saying that they will be forced to consider carrying Warner Brothers movies on a title-by-title basis, but inside sources are claiming that the chains are actually thinking one step even further than that. It is believed that some exhibitors are considering bringing prices down to $3 to $5 for any Warner Brothers title and would want to keep 75 to 80% of the revenue, meaning the studio would get almost nothing back. Now, think about that for a minute. This would be a huge blow to the movie theaters, because here's the thing that you have to keep in mind. A lot of people, and particularly in my comments, have been saying, streaming's the future, this is where it's all going, you just can't stop it. It's not here yet. It's not here yet. This, the last year was a great time to lay the foundation blocks, if you will, get people used to new habits, but the bottom line is, as most of these studios found out, there's simply no money in this. Churros World Tour, might have made $200 million in digital rentals, and a lot of you might be going like, yay, that's great, right? No, they still lost money on that thing. They still lost a lot of money on that thing. And if they did profit, and I don't think they did based on the budget and the marketing expenses that they accrued, it wasn't a very big profit. They still need movie theaters. And you can tell the studios still need movie theaters by the fact that, they didn't dump all their stuff on streaming a lot sooner. You can tell they still need that by the fact that Disney will not go full on-demand, direct-to-consumer, not yet anyway. There's a reason Universal still wanted a 17-day theatrical window for their movies. They just need the movie theaters still. They still need that money. And so the fact that Warner Brothers is doing a day and date release shows that they still want to keep the movie theaters around. They want to make something because they know people like me and other cinephiles will still pay to go see the movies in theaters, and that's what pays the bills especially for the big budget movies. But now AMC and Cinemark, and I'm sure Regal would join in pretty soon, saying, hey, you know what? They're right. We can't necessarily say no to Godzilla. We can't say no to Matrix. We can't say no even to stinking Tom and Jerry. And yeah, I guess Mortal Kombat would be nice to have as well. We can't say no to these movies. We just need these movies to bring people back in. But why are people going to pay $12 to $15 a ticket to see Wonder Woman, even if it's on a stinking IMAX 3D screen, when they can stream it at home? Well, how about this? What if the tickets are $3 or $5, depending on the screen type? I mean, at that point, that's now the family of four, it costs less than $20 or $20 to go out and have a day out at the movies. Well, that's really enticing. And hey, here's the thing. The family who would normally plop down $80 to see Toy Story 4 on a standard definition screen, guess what? They might actually buy snacks now. Because in their mind, hey, we remember paying $80 for the movie. Now the movie's costing us $20. We have another $60 to play around with. So sure, let's get a large soda. Let's get a large popcorn. They will sell a lot more snacks. And this is actually one of the most brilliant outmaneuvers if it actually comes to pass. Because here's what the theaters do. They do entice people to come back to the theaters to watch some of these Warner Brother movies. What's more, they will sell more concessions than they normally would have because the ticket prices are so dang cheap. And on the final note, Warner Brothers does not get much money. If Warner Brothers sells 2 million Warner Brother tickets to Tom and Jerry, 2 million, and they're keeping, let's say they're keeping $1. I'm keeping the math simple. It might work out differently. If they keep $1 per ticket, that's just $2 million. But if it was like a $12 movie ticket and they got to keep $10, then it's $20 million. You see how this works. This is going to still hurt Warner Brothers. One of the reasons they also did this was kind of to appease the investors. If the investors said, well, you can't put the $300 million or whatever the heck it costs, let's say $200 million Dune on HBO Max because you're basically giving it away for free. They're like, but we're still putting it in theaters, so we're going to get something. Well, you're not going to get much if the tickets are $3 to $5. And you know what? I suspect that both these numbers are true. I believe $3 for a standard screen and probably $5 for an IMAX screen, maybe $7. But that's kind of brilliant because that actually makes the theatrical going experience for some of these movies way more appealing to people who want to get out of the house and do something with their family. It sells more concessions because people have more money. Heck, if this goes through, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go see some of these movies at an AMC dine-in because what the heck? I'm not spending any money on the ticket pretty much. I will gladly spend $15 to $20 on each meal because that's money I would have spent on the ticket otherwise. It's a great move by the movie theaters. And the theater and the studios are going to have to do one of two things because they cannot come back and say you can't charge $3 for a brand new theatrical release movie. Oh, well, why can't we? It's on streaming. You're not charging anything for that. So basically, you're saying the movie's free at that point. And if they say, well, we charge $15 for HBO Max, so that's the price when we take, it's like, yeah, people pay $15 and they get all this other stuff. So by that basis, we figure that the movie's worth this much of that subscription. This could get very, very interesting. Like, this was a very interesting power play by the movie theaters themselves, and I think it's brilliant. And in the longer picture, what if this actually sticks? Like, stop and think about it. What if this sticks? Chris Stuckman made a video about how he wasn't necessarily afraid of the new normal, and one of the reasons was because, hey, if movies are going day and date, the people who talk throughout the movie, who are on their cell phones throughout the movie, all those people might stay home and stream it because it's clearly they kind of want to see the movie, but they don't really want to be there. So they would just do it at home because they're cheap. And I was thinking about this, and it's like, yeah, that's a perk, but you still need a certain amount of the casual audience to come and buy snacks. Well, what if this is the new normal? What if, hey, it's day and date? And if you don't care about the theatrical experience, you stream it at home. But the people who care about the theatrical experience, they still go to the movie theaters. They tend to buy more snacks. And here's the thing. Those subscription cards, like the AMC Stubs A-List, Regal Unlimited, those might actually lose less money going forward, because if the tickets are $3, then, hey, even if it's like $20 a month, then, they could make money on that. Heck, they could probably even lower the prices of the subscription model. So this is, on one hand, a brilliant move against Warner Brothers. It shows them that, they're not completely in control of the situation anymore. But here's the other thing. Long term, it might even be the best deal you could hope for. Like, they want to do day and date streaming? Go ahead. Or maybe here's the future. It's kind of a hybrid model of what Universal and Warner Brothers is doing. For the first 17 days, the tickets cost this much money to see on the big screen. Then they go to streaming 17 days later, maybe 31 if it's a particularly good movie. And then, once it's in theaters, they can stay in theaters, but they will be at a reduced price, and you will get more people out there. That gives people an insane amount of choice. And again, if the ticket prices are cheaper, people will buy more snacks. Heck, maybe the theaters can even lower the price of the popcorn just a little bit to make it be more enticing. Can you imagine a situation where, like, on Tuesdays, the movies are $1 and the popcorn is $1, and therefore people will buy a couple popcorns and they will buy a couple drinks. And here's the thing, that popcorn, those drinks, have a market valuation of like 1,000 or more percent. I remember going to a dollar movie theater in Huntington Beach, which is now a church, but they used to sell dollar hot dogs there. I would go, I'd pay my $2 to see the movie, or I was using Movie Pass at the time, so I'd pay $2 to see the movie. I would usually buy 4 hot dogs, and then I would buy the largest Pepsi there, and they made money off of me. And I love that deal. And it's like, you can start seeing deals like that, especially if the ticket prices are low enough that people can just start coming in. It's just a cheap day out. I think this could be very, very interesting. So here's the thing. This is why I'm bullish on theaters. They still have enough clout. Now, of course, the big thing that could bring this to an end is we do know Warner Brothers does not want to really give up that box office money. They don't. As much as like that would be like a nice little future scenario thing, the bottom line is, under that scenario, big budget movies would still not be made as often. So I think this sort of thing should have come to pass. That is more to stick to Warner Brothers, and they might have some second thoughts about the second half of the year when we're more vaccinated and more people are going out. But this is going to be very, very fascinating. Anyway, I would like to know what you think about this. Do you think this is a good move by the theaters part, or do you think it's not going to make much of a difference? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Merry Christmas.